Words such as the Pearl of the East or the Asian Dragon are accolades used to describe Singapore, the wealthiest country in Asia. While countries renowned for long-term development, like Korea, Japan, Saudi Arabia, or Qatar, may surprise many, Singapore's young generation has outshone even those born into oil-rich or resource-endowed nations. Despite its modest size, Singapore has earned global admiration for its remarkable economic achievements within a short time frame. Even during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when many nations faced economic challenges, Singapore continued to thrive, solidifying its status as a prominent playground for the super-rich in Asia. With over 700 square kilometers of land, Singapore boasts more than 249,800 millionaires, making it the country with the highest density of millionaire families in Asia, where over 5% of households possess assets exceeding $1 million. The list of the 50 wealthiest individuals in Singapore, with combined assets totaling $164 billion, is led by billionaire Lee Ziting, whose late father was a renowned real estate tycoon. Singapore's concept of luxury housing differs from the typical image of spacious apartments, featuring high ceilings and large windows. Here, the epitome of luxury living is the good-class bungalow, with a minimum area of 1,390 square meters. Limited to around 2,700 units, only those within the top 5% of wealth can afford these residences. When the super-rich seek entertainment and relaxation, they turn to Singapore's opulent offerings, such as the Green Resort Hotel or the Auriga Spa at Capella Hotel on Sentosa Island. Known for its pristine beaches and yacht-friendly piers, Sentosa is a haven where the affluent can indulge in luxury spas and enjoy the exclusive facilities of the Corner Club, a gathering place for Singapore's elite. In the upscale dining scene of Singapore, the restaurant Wok Gun's 2 Billionaires stands out, offering exquisite dishes such as Japanese Wagyu beef, bee-tongue fish roll, and glazed lobster. Situated in the iconic Marina Bay Sands building, a symbol of Singapore, this restaurant is surrounded by luxurious high-end shopping malls, hosting renowned brands like Chanel, Dior, and Gucci. These malls are the go-to destinations for the affluent in Singapore, who willingly splurge on coveted branded items. The city-state's elite also frequent exclusive clubs like Street Splin, where a yearly membership fee grants access to home bars, working spaces, row sports, and event centers. Another prestigious club, the Tonglen Club, established in 1865, demands an entry fee of around $4,500 annually, with stringent conditions for membership, often favoring those who have studied in the US or England. The wealthy in Singapore often opt for expensive private schools, such as the Anglo-Chinese School, founded in 1886. With tuition starting at $3,250 for Singaporeans and reaching up to $22,000 for foreign students, this school boasts alumni who have become top business leaders and athletes in the country. Another renowned private school, established in 1823, charges approximately $2,700 per year for Singapore residents and $18,700 for foreign students. At nearly 16 hectares, Marina Bay Sands is the world's most expensive luxury resort, offering a complex of entertainment facilities, hotels, restaurants, pools, casinos, museums, exhibitions, event squares, and convention centers. Situated along the Marina Bay waterfront, this opulent resort required an investment exceeding $5.5 billion, providing 5-star international standard services. Wealthy guests from around the globe frequent Marina Bay Sands, making reservations and indulging in its luxurious offerings. The affluent lifestyle in Singapore involves the penchant for collecting rare works of art, watches, cars, jewelry, exclusive bags, and even private jets. Many individuals in Singapore's wealthy class also show interest in international real estate investments. The remarkable economic success of this small island nation, devoid of significant natural resources, can be attributed to its rapid development and pivotal role in the global economy. The story of Singapore's ascent from a humble background is an inspiring narrative, solidifying its status as one of the Asian dragons alongside Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan. Despite its modest size, Singapore has established itself as a prosperous and influential nation, with a 2021 GDP per capita of $72,794, surpassing other affluent countries in the region. Forbes magazine, in 2022, recognized 42 billionaires among Singapore's 50 richest people, ranking the city-state 7th globally in terms of USD billionaires. Singapore also holds the 11th position worldwide in millionaire density within its population, boasting 1,361 super-rich individuals with assets totaling $50 million or more, reaffirming its status as one of the Asian tigers. According to foreign magazines, Singapore, a country that can be traversed by car in just 1 hour due to its small size, lacks abundant natural resources and did not initially stand out in terms of its population. However, the 1960s witnessed Singapore's rapid economic ascent within its extremely limited territory, and this seemingly miraculous transformation can be attributed to a combination of factors, including favorable geography and human influence. Despite its absence of precious minerals, Singapore's strategic geographical location played a pivotal role during this era. Positioned on a crucial trade route connecting Asia and Europe, Singapore became a key center for coordinating goods from Europe, India, and Africa. The British Empire's decision to colonize Singapore in 1819 was influenced by its significance as a gateway for ships navigating one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Approximately 30% of the world's oil passing through the Strait of Malacca in East Asia added to Singapore's advantage. While neighboring countries like Malaysia and Thailand shared similar geographical benefits, they were unable to capitalize on them as effectively as Singapore did. Despite the trend of many nations seeking independence from colonial empires, Singapore maintained a close relationship with England even after gaining independence in 1965, positioning itself as an open economy and gaining access to Western resources. This emphasis on exports was crucial in establishing Singapore as one of the 4 Asian tigers, experiencing robust economic growth from the 1960s onwards. The human element also played a crucial role in Singapore's success. Facing challenges such as slums, Singapore was fortunate to have talented leaders shaping its destiny. Notably, Lee Kuan Yew, the first Prime Minister of independent Singapore, played a significant role in the nation's development. Recognizing the country's human weaknesses, Lee Kuan Yew focused on improving the Human Development Index (HDI), reaching an impressive level of 0.938. This places Singapore in a league comparable to the most advanced and prosperous Nordic countries. Lee Kuan Yew emphasized the importance of talent as Singapore's most valuable asset, creating optimal conditions for talented individuals to succeed. By addressing living standards and nurturing talent, Singapore's future was transformed from the challenges of slums into a brighter and more prosperous outlook. Therefore, right from the early days, Lee Kuan Yew and the government prioritized enhancing the quality of life for the people, with a specific focus on fostering happiness. The establishment of key entities such as the Economic Development Board and Housing Development Board played pivotal roles in transforming Singapore into a thriving city that liberated citizens from impoverished slums. The Housing Development Board, in particular, played a significant role by not only elevating living standards but also generating employment opportunities through the construction of low-cost public housing. This initiative not only improved living conditions but also instilled discipline among the working class, as citizens were actively involved in building their own apartments in the 1960s. Currently, over 80% of Singapore's population resides in these low-cost public apartments, showcasing the success of this approach. Recognizing the potential for foreign investment, the Singaporean government strategically focused on tax reductions to attract substantial global capital. This approach aimed at stimulating economic growth and concurrently reducing unemployment rates. The effectiveness of these policies is evident in the significant drop in the unemployment rate from 14% in 1959 to just 4.5% in the 1970s. In terms of language policy, Lee Kuan Yew's foresight left a lasting legacy, as he understood the importance of bilingualism. The bilingual policy, implemented proficiently in both English and Chinese across various sectors from education to healthcare and public agencies, has empowered Singaporeans to adapt successfully to the demands of globalization. English and Mandarin serve as keys that unlock doors for Singaporeans in the dynamic and evolving global economy. Singapore has emerged as a leading study abroad destination, particularly for students from Southeast Asia. Another critical factor contributing to Singapore's rapid development is its forward-thinking approach. Recognizing the significance of investing in technology since the 1970s, Lee Kuan Yew anticipated that embracing technological advancements was essential for Singapore's survival and growth. This vision materialized through the government's early efforts in computerization, shaping Singapore into a modern, open, and smart nation. Since the introduction of personal computers in the 1980s, technology has played a pivotal role in propelling Singapore's economy and society forward. In the 1980s, Singapore laid the foundation to become one of the most well-connected countries globally. Throughout the 1990s, it maintained its trailblazing status by being among the first nations to establish nationwide broadband links. The 2000s marked a significant leap with the deployment of fiber-optic broadband and the establishment of the first wireless hotspots across the entire island. This strategic approach ensured Singapore's prominence as a global hub, distinguishing it from other countries with important transport routes, such as Egypt or Panama. While these nations possess comparable roots, challenges like political instability and bureaucratic corruption impede their ability to fully capitalize on these advantages. In contrast, Singapore upholds a stable political system, an open economy, and efficient public services. Addressing corruption head-on, Singapore implemented measures to reduce incentives and opportunities for corrupt practices. Initially constrained by economic conditions, the country focused on stiffening penalties for corruption and enhancing the capabilities of the Corruption Investigation Department. In the early 1970s, with sustained economic growth, Singapore elevated salaries and improved working conditions for officials, transforming corruption from a high-benefit, low-risk scenario to a high-risk, high-benefit one. Consequently, corruption ceased to be a serious problem, and international transparency organizations consistently ranked Singapore as the least corrupt country in Asia from 1995 to 2009, placing third in the world in 1995 and fifth in 2021. Singapore's success can be attributed not only to its effective anti-corruption measures but also to a commitment to developing talent. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, who led the country from 1959 to 1990, played a pivotal role in this transformation. Under his leadership, Singapore transitioned from a third-world country to a first-world nation in just one generation. Prime Minister Lee emphasized a meritocratic regime, ensuring that talent was optimally utilized. He staunchly declared that no family member lacking talent would hold a significant position, recognizing the potential disasters such an appointment could pose for Singapore's progress. Singapore has strategically addressed the issue of brain drain, distinguishing itself by effectively appreciating and retaining talent. Departing from the outdated system of appointing leaders based solely on seniority, Singapore, since 1959, has favored the placement of young civil servants in high positions based on merit. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew emphasized that competence should take precedence over years of service. The government actively encourages immigration and endeavors to integrate newcomers into the community, viewing immigrants as a valuable addition to the nation. In 2011, Prime Minister Lee highlighted Singapore's population of around 20,000 to 25,000 immigrants and affirmed the government's ability to manage potential overpopulation. The nation's success is also attributed to attracting international talent through appealing policies on housing and employment. Unlike many island nations facing challenges from climate change and decreasing land areas, Singapore has increased its land area through sea reclamation. By 2030, Singapore aims to expand its reclamation land to 766 square kilometers, driving economic growth with the presence of large petrochemical companies. The reclamation process involves importing substantial amounts of sand, and Singapore has become the world's largest sand importer over the past 2 decades. The low tax rates, minimal corruption, and efficient use of human intelligence make Singapore an attractive destination for business investments, particularly in the context of a globally challenging environment. Singapore's focus on developing high-quality human resources has positioned it as a leader in the dynamic and prominent economic landscape of Asia. The country hosts hundreds of thousands of international students, with a significant percentage contributing to various industries upon graduation. The government's policy of attracting foreign workers has been a key factor in mitigating labor costs and fostering the nation's outstanding development. This approach is likely to continue contributing to Singapore's sustained prosperity. Understanding these factors helps decode the energy and magic that propel Singapore's rapid and sustainable development.